Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back to Soft Spoken Scientists. Today we're learning how to solve square root equations. These can look really confusing at first, but once you know the rule, isolate the square root, then square both sides, they become super easy. We'll go step by step through 3 problems, starting simple and building up. Let's start with the first one. So we have the square root of 3x plus 4 is equal to 2. Usually on an exam it'll just be like, solve, right? And you just have to solve, for x. So what you're going to do is you're going to say to yourself, okay, how do I get rid of that square root? Because I want to just know what x is equal to, not square root of 3x. So you're going to square root this side. And by doing that, you get rid of the square root. And you're just going to write have 3x plus 4. The inside will be just coming out, is equal. And what you do on one side, you do to the other. So I'm going to square that too. And this in 2 raised to the second power is 2 times 2, which is 4. All right? I'm going to minus 4 on both sides just because I don't want to know what 3x plus 4 is equal to. I want to know what x is equal to. So I'm going to remove one thing and move it to the other side. So I'm going to minus by on 4, and what I do on one side, I do to the other. So I'm just going to bring this 3x down, and then 4 minus 4 cancels out. So we have 3x is equal to 0. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 3. Because like we talked about in my last video, there is an invisible multiplication sign right there. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3. By doing that, I get x is equal to 0. All right? There you go. That's the answer. In the next problem, we have the square root of 2x minus 1 is equal to x minus 3. This is the more rigorous one. It's the same process as before. I'm going to square root this side. I'm going to square root the other side, because what I do on one side, I have to do to the other. Then the 2x minus 1 comes on down. Goodbye square root. And we have x minus 3 times x minus 3. It's just the same thing written twice. So let's do the multiplication for it. What's x times x? That's just keep the x, and then you're just going to add the exponents. So x squared. What's negative 3 times x? Negative 3x. What's negative 3 times x? Negative 3x. What's negative 3 times negative 9? A negative times a negative makes a positive, right? So positive 9. So now I have x squared, and I have negative 3x minus 3x. I want to combine my like terms, right? If I'm in debt to someone by $3, and then I owe another person, if I owe, I don't know, John $3, and I owe Lisa $3, I'm in debt by $6, okay? I owe each person $3. So it's x squared minus 6x plus 9 is equal to all of that. So 2x minus 1, I know I wrote it sideways, is equal to x squared minus 6x plus 9. Now, I'm going to combine my like terms. I'm going to minus 2x on both sides, because what I do on one side, I have to do to the other. So I have negative 1 is equal to x squared minus 8x plus 9. Because negative 6x minus 2x is negative 8x. Same thing as like 6 plus 2, but like negative addition, if that makes sense. Careful with that, but yeah. Now I'm going to add 1 on both sides to try to get to 0, because I want to set this whole thing equal to 0, because then I'm just going to do like a quadratic formula. I'm going to add 1 on both sides. I get 0 is equal to x squared minus 8x plus 10. All right? So let's use the formula. X is equal to negative b, that's b, plus or minus the square root of b squared. So remember, this is a, this is b, this is c, of b squared, which is negative 8x, right? So b squared minus 4 times 1, right? Because x squared, if it doesn't have a number in front of it, it's 1. It's just invisible, and they don't tell you that. Negative 4 times a times c, which is 10, all over 2 times 1, okay? Because we know the formula is x is equal to negative b plus or minus that square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. That's the formula. So let's look at this. We have a negative times a negative 8. A negative times a negative makes a positive. So we have x is equal to 8 plus or minus the square root. Negative 8 squared is the same thing as negative 8 times a negative 8. Negative times a negative, positive, so 64. So is the square root of 64, and then you have negative 4 times 1, which is negative 4. Negative 4 times 10 is negative 40. All over 2. Because what's 2 times 1? 2. Okay. What's 64 minus 40? We have to address what's inside the square root first. And I'm just going to delete all this for some room. All right? Oh, gosh. Okay. There we go. All right. So the answer is square root of 24. So we have x is equal to 8 plus or minus square root of 24 all over 2. Let's break down 24. What multiplies to 24? I know 6 and 4 do. I know that 2 times 2 gives you 4. I know that 2 times 3 gets you 6. I have a pair of 2s. They're like boyfriend, girlfriend, so they go outside the square root together, right? So we have x is equal to 8 plus or minus 2, and then the square root of the leftovers, which is 3 and 2. They're just stuck inside because they're not alike and whatnot. They're not the same number, right? So they have to stay inside the square root. All over 2. I know, I can divide all these numbers except the inside the square root, because we don't do that, by 2. 2, this could be divided into 2, this could be divided into 2, this could be divided into 2. So it's x is equal to 4 plus or minus, that's a terrible ink color, I'm sorry. X is equal to 4 plus or minus the square root of 6 all over 1, but I don't need to include divided by 1. So that would be my final answer, right? Is what I would imagine. But here's the deal. The reason this is not the entire answer is because if on your calculator, if you do 4 plus the square root of 6, that's valid. If you say on your calculator 4 minus the square root of 6, that's invalid. The right side becomes negative, and we can't have that. So x is equal to 4 plus the square root of 6. This is actually your final answer. Glad I caught that. This is your answer in the box. Okay, finally, I'm going to square root both sides again to get rid of that square root. Goodbye, square root. So I just bring down the inside. X plus 5 is equal to, what's 6 squared? 6 times 6. What's 6 times 6? 36. Minus 5 on both sides. You get 31. And that's it. Once you know how to isolate the square root and square both sides, these problems get way easier. If you want more practice, I can make a full worksheet or more examples. Just let me know. Please don't forget to hit that like button, and please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching The Soft Spoken Scientist, and remember, science and math is for everybody, especially you.